Right, part 3 of this dumb series. Let's go. This is going to be the final one.
I'm sorry, can you tell me a little bit more about your question? All right.
So the president was happy to bring up the problems with China and human rights. And does
Okay, yep. That's fine.
the
What's
president
next?
support American companies doing business in China? Does he support them doing the same thing as they do business in China?
Does he support them speaking out about human rights abuses, or
Yes, human rights abuses in China. There's been some reluctance by...
You just flip-flopped. Man, oh, Jesus. I just said man. Okay, you ask, does President Biden support the U.S. companies doing business in China? That's what you originally asked. Then you changed your question.
by American companies to address this issue because they're doing business in China. Does the president support
the president's been outspoken, as he was in his conversation with the president of China about
He's been outspoken. Answer the question.
American values. He also made a point of conveying to President Xi that overturning the Muslim ban was one of the first steps that he took as president. So he is
right. Okay. Still hasn't answered the question.
Leading by example, and I will leave it at
leading by example. Nothing about whether or not Biden supports corporations doing business in China. Nothing.
Okay.
Would he want to lead by example for American companies? Does he want to? Should he start that?
See, even the reporter noticed.
Same message for American companies.
He's the president of the United States. He's conveying what he feels our values are, and he conveys that to anyone he has conversations with, whether it's
2 O's per sentence, by the way.
Publicly or privately, to
3
companies or to leaders of other countries. Go ahead.
I know you said that a vast majority of immigrants right now are being turned away, but do you have examples of who isn't being turned away? I know you mentioned children. Are there any other sort of cases that you're looking into?
That's actually a really good question. Since she didn't say all immigrants or illegal immigrants, I mean, she can't just deny it.
Sure. Well, I gave the example of children because there had been some questions certainly about that in the past, and I wanted to be
Bring your children.
clear about our policy and what our approach is. I don't think I have other specific examples for you other than to suggest you talk to the Department of Homeland Security. I'm sure they could provide.
Deflecting the question. Whatever. Okay, this would be fine on a press base, but it's not. This is a press briefing that the public watches.
Provide more.
Also, the chat's going crazy, basically saying she's avoiding the question.
For you if those are available. But again, I think it's important for us to convey that the majority, this is not the time to come, and that
then finally legalize, fully lock down the border. COVID concerns.
The vast majority of people are turned away at the border, and we are committed to putting in place a moral and humane system and process, but we are also digging out of 4 years of detrimental policies as it relates to immigration, and that's going to take some time. Go ahead in the back.
Thank you, Jen. I have 2 questions.
Go ahead in the back. Yeah, dodged question. I mean, that's all these videos are. Oh, you dodged a question. You dodged a question. You dodged. I mean, this just shows how bad the press secretary is.
Questions, maybe 3 if you allow.
Okay.
So the first one is just a few days after you criticized from this podium Nord Stream 2, Russia resumed construction of the pipeline, and German...
Oh, God. Yes. The U.S. isn't the international police. It's a country. Not the you. God damn it. Jesus. God, why? Just in general, why?
Government continues to defend the project, German president even called it the last bridge between Europe and Russia. Do you have an update on President Biden's position on Nord Stream 2?
Okay. Yes. Good. Good. The world peace is good, and it comes from becoming buddy-buddy. And sure, the best thing for the world is basically all democracies without, any meddling or any suspects, but that's never going to happen. So yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a good thing. Germany and Russia should be ally. Oh wait, this is World War II again, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't have an update. It remains what we discussed last week or the week before. 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks ago. He has the same position. Yes.
Okay,
So it's not a good thing. Got it.
another one is on the European Union reportedly is preparing sanctions in response to jailing Alexei Navalny by Russia. Is the
Nice. Okay, whatever.
United States involved in those talks on sanctions, and what's President Biden's position?
What's President Biden's position? You shouldn't eat cookies out of the cookie jar, Jack. Yeah, Jack. Let's continue.
Russia for Navalny's arrest.
Well, there is an ongoing review that has been tasked to the national security team of the problematic actions of Russians, including the poisoning of Alexei Navalny. And the president of the United States reiterated that
Sanctions are dumb.
and his concerns about that, as well as the solar winds breach, reports of engagement in the 2020 election, and of course.
Yes, there was Russia collusion. Meanwhile, Biden won. Yeah, okay. Sure. Well, how would they do that? Since it was mostly electronic voting. Well, the voting machines, yeah. But didn't Democrats say the voting machines were perfectly secure when Democrats were being accused of voting fraud? No, who would ever? No. Ugh.
Of course, bounties on the heads of U.S. troops when he spoke with President Putin. And in our engagements, his engagements and engagements at all levels with our European partners, certainly the issue of coordination and working together as it relates to the problematic actions of Russia is a topic of conversation. But that review is ongoing as it relates to our U.S. policy, so we'll wait for it to conclude before making any policy announcement.
Don't make a policy announcement, just let it go on forever, leave Russia alone. Just become partners to the point where we're not going to be on the verge of nuclear war.
But I'm talking about Navalny's jailing, not poisoning. What do you want to know about this? What kind of review you need to know that he's in jail?
Well, we have been outspoken about that. It's been raised directly with the Russians, of course, as we've read out from here.
Yeah, you're outspoken about everything, according to you.
State Department from many components of our government. What I was referring to or trying to answer was your question about sanctions, which is that we have an ongoing review and process about our policies, what steps will be taken. Of course, the president reserves the right to respond in any manner and any timeline of his choosing.
Nope, Congress has to declare war.
But that review is ongoing and has not concluded yet.
If I
Go ahead.
President Biden called many world leaders, including leaders of Germany and France. How the president sees U.S. relations with Central and Eastern Europe, including Poland?
How does he see the relationship?
The future of this relation.
The Polish? What? I swear to God, me saying, "Oh, this is World War II" was a joke.
Well, the president has only made, of course, not an unlimited number of calls, as was noted earlier in the briefing, and there will be more calls ahead in terms of the specific priorities as it relates to our relationship with Poland. I'm happy to connect you with someone more directly to discuss that.
Let me guess. A certain group, later known as the Allies, are going to say, if you invade Poland, we're going to declare war. Germany and Russia and Japan all partner up also with Italy. Japan invades some of China. Russia takes the other bit of China. Germany then attacks all of France and takes it all, and then starts a massive air battle over the British Channel, which would later be known as the Battle of Britain. Um, Later, the actions in North Africa would be taken, and it would be a back and forth, and there'd be a city by the name of Tobruk that would play an important role, and then the faction known as the Allies would sweep through Italy. Later, in 2044, the faction known as the Allies would land on some beaches in France and take all of Germany, and then and and then oh yeah, take all of Germany, and Russia switches on the Germans. Now, Russia, America, the British, and kind of not really the French are now all going against Japan, and two new technologies that can destroy entire cities in one go that are not atomic bombs are dropped, and that ends the war known as World War III. Am I somewhere in the ballpark?
Go ahead in the back.
Yes, there's been a lot of concerns about recent postal delays, and I know the president's campaign
Postal. Jesus, this is the softballest question ever. Economics, how the economy is not doing the best.
on improving the postal service. Does he
GameStop.
want to see the removal of Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, and is he doing anything to make that happen?
Well, as I understand the process, it can only be done by the board members. And there are
Yeah, that's correct.
4 openings or 4 vacancies at this point in time. So those would need to be filled and addressed.
No, damn it. A few more minutes.
But they're the individuals who would have a role in determining the future of Mr. DeJoy.
He would be interested in making a priority as the board is selected.
Naming the member of the boards.
Naming members who want to see a new Postmaster General.
I don't have any personnel announcements or specifics.
Okay, that's fine.
Of the determinations of the I should say the factors
Of the factors
that are playing into those decisions, but the president stands by his concerns about what happened last fall and improvements he's
last fall. Yeah, okay, sure.
Like to see at the post office. Thank you, everyone.
She puts back on her mask, and she wasn't wearing a mask the entire time, meaning she was in violation of Biden's executive orders, and she looks like a robot. End of video. Bye.